Hello and welcome, our dear students, at the fourth stage, Department of English, College of Arts, University of Mumbai. Hello and welcome again in our continuous lectures in translation. Okay, first of all, I'd like you to encourage other students who are not with us in the classrooms to join, so that they would follow up what we are doing in our lectures, in your groups, in your other social media. So please try to encourage them to join such lectures. Okay, they are for the benefit. Okay, so yes, we'll continue our lecture. As you can see here, this is a continuation for yes, this is page 72, and in the previous lecture we talked about the problems in translating articles, and we'll continue here in this lecture. Yes, translation of sentence connectors. Sentence connectors. What are sentence connectors? Okay, they are words or phrases used to connect sentences together. You see, words or phrases. Words or phrases. Okay, this is the very simple definition for connectors, or sometimes they call them conjunctions. Conjunctions, connectors or conjunctions. As the name tells, okay, they join, they connect, okay, sentences in English, okay, and yes, in all languages, not just in English. Words or phrases used to connect sentences together. What is the position of conjunctions or connectors? They usually occur at the beginning of sentences. Usually we use them at the beginning of sentences. Sometimes we use them in the middle of some sentences, and in other times, okay, we use them at the end of sentences. And we have here a very simple example. In English, to simplify the idea of the job of connectors or conjunctions. Here we have a very simple sentences. Okay, they end with a full stop. Okay, English is relatively a modern language. This is one sentence. Arabic is one of the ancient languages. Perhaps it is the oldest language on earth. Okay, it means here Arabic. It refers here to Arabic. It is the oldest language on earth. More evidence. So we need evidence about that. More evidence is required to confirm that. These are simple sentences. Okay, not connected. They have let's say referring to one idea. Okay, so here, what is the purpose of connectors or conjunctions? This is a very simple translation for these sentences. تعتبر اللغة الإنجليزية أو الإنجليزية نسبيا لغة حديثة العهد. تعد العربية إحدى اللغات القديمة، ربما تكون أقدم لغة على وجه الأرض. مزيد من الأدلة مطلوب للتحقق من ذلك. In these sentences, there's no connectors or conjunctions. Let's try the same sentences with connectors. Okay, those connectors are underlined. Okay, those connectors or conjunctions are underlined. English is relatively a modern language. On the other hand, Arabic is an ancient language. Not only this, perhaps it is the oldest language on earth. However, more evidence is required to confirm that. The same sentences are connected using connectors or conjunctions. So what is the purpose of using conjunctions or connectors? We have two main reasons or two main justifications for the use of conjunctions and or connectors. First of all, okay, we use connectors or conjunctions to apply comprehension or to obtain first of all comprehension. We could understand the text more clearly using those connectors or conjunctions. So first of all, we use conjunctions to obtain comprehension. And then the second justification for using connectors or conjunctions is to obtain unity of the text. Unity, so we feel the whole this text as a one unity, one unit, or to obtain unity. So first of all, comprehension, to understand the text, and then we feel that this text is one unit. It is connected. It's not abstracted. So now we feel that this text is one unity. One unit, or the unity is applied. The same thing applies to Arabic. Okay, now we read the Arabic text without connectors, and this is the English text with connectors. So we'll try to have a look at the Arabic translation for the same text with connectors. تعتبر الإنجليزية أو الإنجليزية نسبيا لغة حديثة العهد. من ناحية أخرى تعتبر العربية لغة قديمة جدا. ليس هذا فحسب، ربما هي أقدم لغة على وجه الأرض. على أي حال هناك حاجة إلى مزيد من الأدلة للتحقق من ذلك. As you can see, it has those connectors have a function, that is to connect those sentences, so that you can feel that the whole text is one unity. So now we understand what's meant by connectors or conjunctions. The author here says, yes, we have a large number of connectors or conjunctions, and to understand better those connectors, we have to classify them. And the author of this book, adopted Holiday and Hassan's division. Those are two authors of a well-known book in English. Its name is Cohesion in English. Cohesion in English. In addition to other authors, this classification is based on those authors, and mainly Holiday and Hassan. So the first type of conjunctions or connectors, additive conjunctions. And we mean here when we want to add a new idea, to the text, we use those connectors. And for example, we have and, also, or, furthermore, in addition, besides, beside that, alternatively, likewise, similarly, in the same way, for instance, for, that is, I mean, etc. Yes, we will see them in addition to the translation into Arabic. So as you can see here, we have and, also, or, then, furthermore, moreover. They have the same meaning. In addition, besides. You see, we have actually similarity in translation. بالإضافة إلى ذلك. Alternatively, likewise. Similarly, in a similar way, in the same way, by the same token. For instance, for example, that is, I mean, namely, versus, etc. So those connectors have functions. Those connectors or conjunctions have functions. They add more information and details. The first function for those connectors, additive conjunctions or connectors, is for obtaining addition. like using and also besides that moreover furthermore in addition. So addition here الإضافة, to add more information, add more information. Alternation بمعنى التخيير, okay, to choose or give more choices. التخيير, alternatively, instead, rather. Exemplification, to give examples. التمثيل أو إعطاء الأمثلة. Okay. For example, for instance, a case in point, to give an example or to cite an example. To give an example and to cite an example. Explanation, التوضيح, to explain more. Using, that is, I mean, namely, with, etc. Or resemblance or similarity. Resemblance, التشابه, or similarity. Using, likewise, similarly, in a similar way, in the same way, by the same token, etc. You see, resemblance. So these are the functions, okay, done or made by or using additive conjunctions or connectors. The next type of connectors or conjunctions, adversative or contrastive conjunctions. We mean here contrastive, التباين أو التضاد. التباين أو التضاد, to give a contradicting idea, or another idea, or contradicting idea. Okay. التناقض أو التباين. Okay. But, however, yet, though, although, see all those connectors or conjunctions. Nevertheless, nonetheless, despite that, in spite of, instead, rather, on the other hand, on the one hand, on the other hand. So we can see here in this in one sentence, on the one hand, on the other hand, this is another. On the contrary, in fact, actually, well, as a matter of fact, in any case, anyway, and you can, yes, this is you can use this in your writing when you write a research and you want to connect your ideas in a more comprehensible way. You can use those. You have to know the meanings of those connectors first, so that you can use it in the proper way, or in a more appropriate way. So we have, as contrastive conjunctions, we have but, however, yet, and those are those meaning in Arabic. There are meanings in Arabic. Though, although, nevertheless, nonetheless, despite that, in spite of, albeit, having said that, yes, with the same meaning, yes, with the same meaning. برغم ذلك، مع ذلك، مع هذا، على الرغم من ذلك. You see, they are used to give a contrastive idea or different idea. Instead, rather, on the other hand, on the one hand, on the other hand, on the one hand, on the other hand. On the other hand, on the contrary, in fact, actually, well, as a matter of fact, the fact of the matter, and those are their meanings in Arabic. In any case, anyway, at any rate, after all, above all, it's true that. Okay. A note here is added at the end of this okay. All these connectors give the meaning of contrast to what has been said before. All what's those listed connectors listed already, their function is contrast to what has been said before. So when you want to mention a contradicting idea, you use those connectors. But 6 of them demand special attendance. So you have to be careful in using those 6 connectors. In fact, as a matter of fact, the fact of the matter actually, well, it's true. Why? Their equivalents in Arabic can be misleading. They can be misleading. Why? For they are used positively in informal Arabic. In informal Arabic, those connectors are used positively. They don't refer to contradiction. They use positively, which means that I agree with this idea positively. However, formally, this is informal. Formally, such في واقع الأمر، في الواقع حقيقة الأمر أو في الحقيقة and صحيح أن are used in contrastive sense. So in informal Arabic, those connectors are used positively, while in informal or formally, they are used to in contrastive sense, which means they give a contradicting idea. In formal language, they give a contradicting idea. And we have an exception here with with hasanan, which is used in both sentences. Sometimes it is used positively, and in other times it is used negatively. This is according to the context of the sentence. According to the you have to be careful, dear students. You have to be careful in using hasanan. Why? It is sometimes used to give maybe sometimes a positive idea, positive sense, or a negative sense. Sometimes it is used negatively or positively. How come? it is according to the context, according to the speaker. So we have here two sentences. Have you carried out your mission properly? Oh yes. Well done. You deserve a reward. So well here, well is used. نعم حسنا. Here it is used positively. هل نفذت المهمة على أكمل وجه؟ نعم حسنا إنك تستحق مكافأة. حسنا. Okay. Have you carried out your mission properly? Properly? No, I couldn't. Well, go back and complete it. So, well here is used negatively by the speaker. Well is used here negatively by the speaker. هل نفذت المهمة على أكمل وجه؟ لا لم أستطع. حسنا عد, which means I don't agree. Okay, I don't agree with this. You haven't done your work properly, so I don't feel good toward you. Okay. حسنا, though it is, yes, we feel for the first time when we read it, it is it has a positive sense, but in this context it has a negative sense. In this context it has a negative sense. So dear students, you have to be careful in using those connectors. So you have to know their meanings, how they are used, their meanings, and you have to be careful of the of some uses. Sometimes you when you translate it here, the meaning is positive and you translate it into a negative, so you are committing a mistake in translation. So you have to be careful in those special uses for some connectors. So we stop here, and inshallah we'll continue in the next lecture, inshallah. So next lecture, inshallah, we try to discuss casual connectors. So until that time, I hope we'll see you, inshallah, very soon in our university, inshallah. And I ask Allah for you and your families to be good, well, and until that time, goodbye, and see you, inshallah. Thank you very much for listening, and if you have any question, you can on the classroom you can ask any question. Please do. Okay, see you, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.